turns out so hard, yes. Just tell me to fight for you. I try to make this something you want me to fight for you.
Hey everybody, welcome to the newest episode of On That Note with Parker Whirling. Today's guest joins me all the way from over in the UK. He's a multi-instrumentalist and singer-songwriter with his debut EP, Above Water, out right now. He's friends with the previous On That Note guest, Sam Eagle, and I'm incredibly excited to have him on the podcast today. Please welcome PORTEOUS. Sam is such a cool guy. I love him so much. He's been such a help to me and just such a genuine person. Not to mention he's like on some other shit with his music.
Yeah, it's amazing. He's great. He's so good. He's been an amazing friend to me for a while, and he's just lovely.
Yeah, so for all the listeners, that's how I know you. I found you through Sam Eagle, a previous On That Note guest, and you guys actually did a podcast together, his podcast, and Samcast, giving him the plug. And I listened to that, and that's how I found out about you. So then I went and checked out your music and your EP, Above Water, which is incredible. It came out May 25th.
So
Yeah, how was the recording process for that?
really good, yeah. So it's obviously a few singles to make up the EP, which I released over my first year. I've been probably sort of recording music as PORTEOUS for just over a year. Obviously writing before that and things. So it's been a long one in the works, and it sort of came together to almost put a full stop on my first segment of my releases. So over lockdown, I was sort of tweaking and finishing Skip, the track on there, and like the first lockdown, which is great. And it was really, really just amazing to put out an EP. And yeah, I don't know, it's really good. It's difficult, I think, producing yourself. So I've had the full spectrum of emotions doing that. But it's so fulfilling when you get it right and when you get the tracks sounding how you want them to.
What are some of the challenges of writing, recording, and producing pretty much entirely your own EP?
I think it's all the different heads you have to put on. Because it's like there's as you say, the writing head, the recording head, the producing head, the mixing head. I send it off to mastering, and then also like when you're releasing, you have to have a new sort of business head on, and how do I send emails and all of this stuff. So it's quite challenging at first, but it's also, it can be really nice because it's all in your hands. And if I've got to the point now where my demos often sound quite produced because sometimes the writing will seep into the production process and vice versa. I don't know. It's a good one. I think it can be really fulfilling. It's just trying to remember that you have to switch sometimes from have different ears on for different sections, which is quite challenging.
Which one's the hard role for you to fill?
I think it's the producer / mixing one.
Really? Because your shit sounds pretty good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think with Vibe With You, the first track, that was very... I sort of flew through that one and really everything laid down really easily. But with Angelo, for example, there was a point where it was like, how do I tackle this? And if I'm producing for someone else, it's a lot more, that's the answer, that's what I want, or that's what they want, is always good. Whereas with this, it's a bit more, if you get in that headspace, then it can be really difficult to get out of it and find the solution. So I've had a bit of that, but with, again, as I say, it's been full circle. I had a bit more collaboration on the production in Thinking Wrong, the second track, because I mixed that with Tom Donovan, who's a really great mixing and recording producer, everything essentially around Essex way in the UK. He's really good. And so that was nice. And then with Skip, that came really naturally, and I sent it to my manager, and it was sort of quite an early bounce of it, and he said, "This is working really well. Don't overdo it. Don't fall down that hole again. It sounds really good." And it was one of those things where it just, again, happened quite naturally. But yeah, I think it's just trying to keep your ears really fresh on it, and trying to stay really positive about it, and see what the next phase is. But equally, with Angelo, I had the hurdle, and eventually I got over it, and the end result I was so happy with, and it was even more fulfilling. So yeah, I don't know, I've gone on a tangent there, but
That's okay. We love
that's
tangents
it.
on the show. Was there a song that you felt the most proud of when you finished writing it or recording it?
I'd say, I think Vibe With You always has a very special place in my heart. It's the first, it's the debut, it's big, it's bold, it's the poppy one, which I love pop music. I was brought up listening to like rock and like all old 70s stuff. Led Zeppelin, huge like favourite band of mine, and then got into jazz a bit. So before that I was very much like, oh no, pop music, that's not for me. As many of my friends were growing up, but then now it's like,
You weren't a Bieber fan.
yeah, so not a Bieber fan. I got the Bieber. A lot of people were like, "Oh, you've got Bieber's hair." And it used to be an insult, but now I listen to Bieber loads. I think he's like the production, the writing, it's all just top notch.
Yeah, I remember you were saying that on Samcast. I totally remember that in middle school, being like, everyone being like, "No, fuck Justin Bieber." It's like
Yeah,
nobody like,
exactly.
and now everyone's like, "Yeah, I mean, hey, he's got some sick music."
He's doing it. Yeah, like Where Are You Now? That track is like Skrillex. It's just mad production, isn't it? It's just, it's great. But yeah, that one was brilliant. I also with Skip, I think that's really special because that shows a different side of my artistry. It's not a single, it's an EP track, and it's very much, I was listening to artists like Puma Blue, Jordan Rakai, and it was very much in line with the stuff I was listening to. So I really loved that, and I was really like quite overwhelmed and really happy with the response to that track in particular, because you know people were saying, "Oh, this one's really cool. I like the outro," which is all just instrumental stuff. So that was really nice. But yeah, I was happy with them all, and they all had their different pros. But yeah, maybe Vibe With You is the one that I'm still very much, yes.
Yeah, it's a great song. It feels like the cornerstone song for the EP, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
So when you were doing this launch gig that you played on Zoom with two other guys, that must have been pretty complicated to figure out and to practice and to get sounding perfect. But I watched it and was like, holy shit, these guys are like on it. They're on time. Everything's perfect. And I just couldn't imagine how you even practice that over Zoom. What was that like?
Yeah, it's really complicated. It was so we did a lot of sending stuff around. I made like a full Logic project of me just playing to a click and sent it to them to like play to as well, to try and like get the practice going. Really, really strange. And then, yeah, I think what else to say about it? They're both so good. They're such good musicians. It's Joe Branch and Joe Gutteridge, who I play with. And they're both Londoners. I'm lucky they live quite near me here, so we're good friends. And yeah, they're both just very tight musicians.
Yeah, you guys were all tight. It was crazy. I couldn't
you.
believe how tight you could be
Bless
over.
you.
I mean, Zoom is lagging right now, you know. So the fact that you guys were like that on tempo is pretty incredible.
It's difficult. There's a lot of logistics to sort out, but we managed to get there in the end and did like a good sort of. I was really happy with it. It was sounding really great. But yeah, that was cool, and it's just sort of in this time where it's so hard for everyone and we can't play live music properly. It was a real like, yes we can, we're gonna do it, and yeah, it was really amazing. So hopefully I've got a live stream gig, providing it doesn't, this one's actually at a venue, but it's no one will be there because we're locked down in the UK at the moment, and so it's live streaming but from a venue, and it's with the band on the 21st of November, which will be really cool. So I'm interested to see how that goes as well. That's a slightly longer set, and it's just sort of adapting and trying to find ways of playing the music when we can't play it face to face necessarily.
Yeah, given this time we're in now, it just feels like the future has been going towards this direction of this, a virtual world, a more connected world. And when I was listening to your episode with Sam Eagle, you guys were talking about something that I thought that I've been thinking of for a while now, which was just the idea of, I think Sam was saying like how important our release is going to be in the future, like the actual campaign for a release and stuff like that, because there's so many avenues to go down to make, a quote unquote name for yourself. And musicians can get big off of a TikTok video, and then everybody ends up funneling through their music. And my theory kind of is like, it's going to be more and more important to be a Renaissance person in the future. Someone who can do everything and also be live on all channels kind of at the same time. And personalities are going to be more important, not
For sure.
not like your connections to NBC or, whatever studios. It's like you have a phone and you have your stuff in your bedroom, and now we're having so much great technology, you can do everything by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very right. Yeah, it was a really interesting chat, that one, because I think Sam, his new music is amazing, and it was really interesting hearing a bit about his campaign, how he's doing it, and some of their approaches, and like even from the signed artist point of view, how they're adapting to this whole thing and the change. And TikTok can be amazing, like same Instagram, all of these things, Twitch, where it's just these communities supporting new artists in a way like never before. I think it's trying to always think positively about these things and what works best for me, which me and Sam had talked about, because I don't think like TikTok isn't for everyone. It's not always the best one for everyone. I've had some luck on it and I enjoy it. It's quite light-hearted. Sam's absolutely killing it on Twitch. And his streams are amazing on there. And yeah, it's great. I think that's a big bit of advice, like for new artists, is like there's not just one way anymore. It's not the whole turn up at the record label and give your mixtape and hope for the best and then you're flying. It's very much like, as you say, what's this person like, and how are they presenting their art, and how can you show yourself in some ways. I think that's interesting what you say about characters as well, because it's some of the TikTok videos, I do post on TikTok a fair bit now, and so I found the videos that do well, the ones that I don't intentionally think, I'm going to make this really cool and I'm going to do this long edit and work loads on the song. It's normally the ones where my character's showing, I'm just happy about something, or I'm enjoying, the gig, or you can see that the vibe's right. And it's that human thing of, like, we respond well to just people being people and things like that. A lot more than just surface level stuff, which is interesting.
I think people value authenticity more than we may give them credit for.
Of course, yeah.
You see some of these shows that are like just sitcoms that are so written by like 15 writers to get the best of the cream of the crop jokes that'll hit the widest audience. But we're living in an age where you have so many channels, like by means of an Instagram profile or a Twitch channel, literally. And you can find what you love specifically, like your niche, so easily now. And for people like me that want to watch someone like Sam Eagle write and record a new song every night, even if he doesn't do anything with it, there's someone, if not hundreds of people that do that I can be entertained by and learn from. And Sam Eagle's Twitch thing, I think that has been very interesting for me to see how he does that, because I've never seen anyone do that. Just go online every day and like for an hour just write and record a song. Or he had his listening party for his new song, and you know, I love the guy, so I was like, I just want to show up and, you know, support and listen to it. And the more you get into that kind of stuff, the more fans you'll accrue that way. And I think that's probably going to be the future.
I think so. And it's so much more than streams. It is. I was having a really interesting chat with my manager about it, and he was saying people forget that, you know, you can get millions of streams on a song and no one will necessarily show up at the gig. Or it's very much, if you do things that are engaging and you can find that way of presenting your music, then it's so valuable and so fulfilling. And I think we see that more coming back to at the moment, where we can't necessarily be in person with people. Things like streaming and that online engagement is just so great. But yeah, it's really good, all the Twitch stuff and all the
people value that connection.
Yeah, exactly, the connection, for sure.
All right, man. Well, I think that's going to take us over to the last 5. I'm just going to ask you 5 quick questions and then we'll be done.
Nice. Amazing.
All right. Number 1, Logic or Ableton?
Logic for me.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling. I don't know why.
Yeah, I love Ableton, and I grew up playing on Ableton a bit through college, but I've just always used Logic, and that's it. I don't know. They're both great though.
I saw that Ableton just announced that they're going to be doing comping on their newest update of Ableton, which has been like such a huge discrepancy with everyone. I don't know if that's the word, but yeah, people are like
that would
annoyed.
Change the game.
Yeah, so now that they do that, it's like, okay, well, maybe I'll try it out again. But I love
sure.
Logic. It's pretty simple and
it's great.
Easy to
it's
use.
So user friendly, isn't it? It's really, it's just nice.
Yeah, I like it. All right, number 2, who's the most underrated artist right now?
That's a really good one. I want to say Sam Wills in the UK. Have you heard of Sam Wills before?
No, I haven't.
I've been shown him by my friend Seb, and he's great. He's in with some of the Tom Misch crowd and some of these guys, but he's still very, very underground, and all of his tracks just absolutely blow me away. The vibes are great. He's amazing voice, amazing writing, that sort of jazzy neo soul thing, and he's getting streams, but I feel like underrated for sure. I feel like there's more people need to know about him, and I'm sure they will.
Sam Wills.
Sam Wills.
Sam Wills.
Yeah.
What song or EP or whatever should I listen to?
I think literally everything. He's only got singles out. I think that's worth mentioning. Okay. But there's one track in particular I've been referencing. I'm really bad with names. Train Gazing is lovely, and so is Talk in the Morning.
Train Gazing and Talk in the Morning.
Talk in the Morning, yeah. Just amazing grooves, amazing musicianship, really cool. Another Sweet. Sam as well. We love the Sams.
Yeah, we're big Sam fans here.
We're Sam fans.
So Sam Wills, Train Gazing, and Talk in the Morning.
Amazing, yeah.
All right, that's on the list. I'm checking it out. Number 3, what's on your musical rotation right now?
Musical rotation? Well, as in just like artists that I'm listening to a lot? Yeah, just what you've been
listening to over the last couple of weeks.
So, new Ariana Grande album. That's my pop one.
Is it good?
I've been listening to that a lot. Yeah, really good. Always. I'm just a huge Ariana fan. I think It's just it's like multi-writer, like top of the
Right.
top of the chain pop writing, right? But it's really good, and there's some really interesting tracks on there. And then also Mac Airs, which another mate of mine showed me recently. Do you know Mac Airs?
I know the name. I know people really like him, but I've never listened to him.
He's great. I mean, he's been around for a while, but I've just really been getting into him, and another one of those where I'm just every track is just hitting the spot for me. He's so good. And there's a lot. He's got a few albums out, so there's a lot to listen to, which is good. But yeah, both of them are good new ones that on my rotation.
Do you ever feel like if an artist has like a big discography and you don't know them, that you're almost intimidated to try to get into them?
Sometimes. I've always felt that so my parents were never like huge David Bowie fans, and a lot of my friends' parents were, and I found my own sort of love for David Bowie. Like his last album, I remember really listening to that because it was current, but I'm still yet to go for it. He's got so much work over his life, and it is a bit like, wow, okay, that's going to take me a while. I don't know whether daunting's the word. It's exciting, but there's so many artists like that where it's like, I really need to listen to everything they've ever done, and there's a lot of it. But it'll be good.
I feel like it's easier to start with the classics of whatever you're trying to get into, so that it's like, if you like this, then kind of keep going
then
through
carry
the deep
on.
dive.
Yeah, it's still I like Stevie Wonder's one of the I love Stevie Wonder so much. There's probably still tracks. He's released so much music over his lifetime, so there's still probably songs I've not heard.
Yeah,
because it's just like the time.
I love the Beatles, and like, there's no way I've come even close to hearing probably like 70% of their songs. They have so many that are out there.
So many. Yeah, but I'm probably the same. And there's all the bootlegs and all the behind the scenes remixes, all this stuff.
There's always going to be new things to watch or listen to.
Yeah, not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing at all. All right, number 4. Who's your dream artist or producer to work with?
That's a good one. Dream artist or producer? I'd say Jordan Rakei for me. Do you know Jordan Rakei?
Mm-mm.
So he's just amazing. In that, you know Tom Misch, right?
Yeah.
Have we talked a bit about him? So essentially, you'll have heard his tracks. He's on a track called Ottolenghi with Loyal Kana as well, and he's an amazing vocalist, but just plays everything beautifully. And I've seen him live a few times. He's just incredible. He produces all his own stuff, and he's recently. It's quite exciting. He's started a Patreon as well, which has some opportunities to subscribe, to talk to him as a creator, which is amazing.
Yeah, going back to our previous conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Going back to that, and it's very much, I don't know, you never know. That could, he's doing like these production masterclasses and things like that, which is really cool. But I just think, again, he's one of these people that everything he puts out is just so interesting and so great and so groovy, and live you're just spellbound by his talent, and it's like there's never a dull moment. There's so much life in how he plays. Jordan Rakei, I think, for me.
Say the name again. Julian Rakei?
Yeah, sorry, it's my pronunciation probably. So Jordan
Sorry.
Jordan Rakei.
Gotcha. How do you spell Rakei?
So, I mean, there's different ways of pronouncing Rakei.
Okay.
But I've always gone Rakei. But it's R-A-K, and then it's E-I.
Okay. Jordan Rakei.
Yeah, Jordan Rakei. And yeah, honestly, have a listen. His new stuff's really great as well. Slightly more drum machine stuff.
Oh, cool.
Which is cool. But
nice.
Yeah, he's really good.
All right, well, here's the last question, and then I'll send you out of here. It's definitely a question more for me than anything, but what's your favorite Radiohead album?
Wow, that's a tough one. Just drop that on me there. I just got to pick my favorite Radiohead
Save the best
album.
for last.
Yeah, it is. It's a hard one. I'm gonna say OK Computer
Mm.
because it's so hard. They're all amazing albums. In Rainbows, incredible.
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite.
It's brilliant. I think OK Computer has quite a special place in my heart because it's one of those albums that I grew up and my parents listened to. My dad listened to it a lot, and some of the songs have so much meaning. There's like exit music for a film, which is like one of the most emotive pieces of music. So in my highs and my lows, that album's come out. So yeah, I think on an emotional level, it has to be OK Computer for me. But all of their, again, it's one of those bands that everything's gold. I don't know how they quite managed it.
I love OK Computer, I gotta say, but over time it like has diminished a little bit, just a little bit for me, because I'll skip more songs than I used to. Like,
Right, yeah,
I
yeah.
used to love Electioneering. Nah, I don't really listen to it that much. But
Yeah.
the ones that still hit for me, like, hit so hard. I think the first 3 tracks are like some of the best first 3 tracks of any album of all time. It starts with, what is it? Airbag, Paranoid Android, and then Subterranean, Homesick Alien. First 3 songs. It's amazing.
Amazing.
But I think I was talking to King Shelter, previous On That Note guest about this, and I don't know how you feel. I got to get your take on it. I think Kid A is better than Radiohead. Kid A is better than OK Computer.
I mean, Kid A is amazing as well. I think the thing is, like you say about aging well, I don't think OK Computer's necessarily aged well, and it's funny because it wouldn't be my go-to to put on.
Mm-hmm.
I'd put on In Rainbows or Kid A more often than OK Computer now.
In Rainbows is definitely the most easy listening one.
It's so good, yeah. It's very you chuck it on at your party and you get away with it.
Exactly. Not Kid
I
A.
don't know.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, but I just can't attack OK Computer with that. With
That's
Kid
all
A.
good. I'm not asking you to attack. I would never.
I just I don't know. I love them all. It's so hard.
Is there an
It's so
underrated
hard.
one for you? One that you think is like overlooked?
I think. Would you say Kid A is underrated?
I don't know. I mean, I think it gets more hate than it should, you know?
Yeah.
But I also get it. People are like, it sounds a little pretentious. I'm like, yeah, it does, you know? But
Yeah.
But the more you listen to it, the more you see, like, and the more you think about how they made that and the context in which they made it. Like, they just did OK Computer, which was a huge arena rock album.
Yeah.
And then they go into this minimal, like, dance, electronic thing. And they were not doing anything close to that before. So just that in general is so cool too.
Oh, it's amazing, yeah.
You know? Like, that's so bold to do something like that.
It's really bold. That's them in a nutshell, though, isn't
Mm-hmm.
it? Just bold.
Yeah, I can talk
Very
about
much.
Radiohead pretty much all day, but
Yeah, me too. That's good. It's good to find someone else. I'll call you up sometime and we'll just Radiohead, man.
Yeah, I was talking with Sam and we were like, let's start a Radiohead podcast. So maybe we'll get the trio of us just doing nothing but discussing hot Radiohead topics.
I'm so into it. That'd
Perfect.
be great.
Yeah, let's get into it. Awesome. Well, Porteous, hey, thanks for coming on and talking with me and going over your music, talking about Radiohead for a long time. I can always do that.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's been so good to meet you and chat to you. And lots of love to everyone listening. Thank you, man.
Of course, dude. Thank you. And where can people find you on Instagram and Twitter?
So on Twitter, Instagram, at Porteous Music. Same on TikTok as well, if you're a TikTok fan. Doing some fun content on there. And then everywhere else, if you look for just Porteous or Porteous Artist.
Nice.
I'll turn up.
Porteous Music, Porteous Artist, all that.
Yeah, all the same thing. Generally, if it's a Porteous, it's normally me. We'll see.
Yeah.
There's other Porteuses, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure.
All right. Well, Ben, Porteous, thanks for coming on the show, man. I'll talk to you later.
Speak to you soon, man.
Yeah,
Take
big
care.
love, man.
Thank you.
I'll see you later.
Big love.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Ooh. message to live every day. Repeat that old passage, cause I love those cliches. My mind starts to